No. Meghan is not invited to my upcoming Santa Barbara event. I have no involvement with the Epstein matter. Prince Andrew and Meghan do. She made an advance toward me. I did not respond. That's all I'm going to say.
It started with a simple question during an interview, the kind that often fades into the background of celebrity chatter. But this time, the answer landed like a thunderclap. Kevin Costner, the Hollywood veteran known for his understated presence and commanding roles, was preparing for his annual Lister charity event in Santa Barbara, a gathering that draws stars and philanthropists to support first responders. The event had become a staple in the coastal enclave, blending glamour with genuine cause. Yet, as reporters pressed him on guest lists and potential appearances, Costa delivered a response that no one saw coming. No, Meghan Markle would not be attending. And then he went further, tying her name to whispers that had long circulated in elite circles. The interview unfolded in a quiet studio overlooking the Pacific just days before the event. Costner, dressed casually in jeans and a button-down, spoke with the measured tone of someone who chooses words carefully. Sources close to the production later described the atmosphere as charged, with the actor pausing briefly before addressing the query about invitations. His statement was direct, leaving little room for interpretation. It referenced not just a personal boundary, but broader associations that pulled in figures from across the Atlantic. This was no offhand remark. It was a deliberate unveiling, one that confirmed long-standing speculations about advances in Hollywood's power corridors. For years, the narrative around Meghan had been one of reinvention, from actress to duchess to independent force in California. But Costner's words pierced that facade, hinting at behaviors that clashed with her public image. According to insiders familiar with the Santa Barbara social scene, the event's planning had been meticulous, with invitations extended to those who aligned with its ethos of quiet support rather than spectacle. Meghan's absence was not an oversight. It stemmed from a history of interactions that left Costner unmoved. Whispers of her outreach to influential men in the industry had persisted, fueled by accounts from events where boundaries blurred amid the glow of fame. The revelation rippled outward immediately. Social media platforms buzzed with clips from the interview, users dissecting every inflection. In Montego, just a short drive from the event venue, the impact was felt acutely. Prince Harry, Meghan's husband, had attended similar gatherings before, often solo in recent years. But this time, the exclusion carried weight. It wasn't just about one night. It echoed patterns observed at previous iterations of the charity bash, where dynamics shifted noticeably. Reports from 2023 and 2024 events painted a picture of reluctant inclusions pressured by shared agencies like WME, which represents both Costner and the Sussexes. What made this moment stand out was its timing. The Lister event, named after a historic benefactor in first responder circles, was set against a backdrop of heightened scrutiny on royal-adjacent figures. Costner's mention of no personal ties to certain controversies, while pointedly noting others' involvement, added layers. It suggested knowledge gained not from tabloids but from direct encounters. As the interview clip went viral, questions arose. Why speak now? Sources suggest it was a preemptive strike, clearing the air before the event to avoid any awkward narratives. Yet in doing so, it opened a floodgate. The public had seen glimpses before. At the 2023 1805 live fundraiser hosted at Costner's estate, Harry and Meghan made a surprise appearance. Photos captured smiles and handshakes, but behind-the-scenes accounts told a different story. Insiders claimed Costner felt cornered into hosting them, influenced by agency connections. By 2024, Meghan cited illness for her absence, with Harry attending alone. Speculation swirled that it was more than health. It was a rejection of her desire to co-present awards. Now, in 2025, Costner's words confirmed a deeper discomfort. This wasn't mere gossip. It built on a foundation of observed behaviors. Hollywood's elite circles thrive on discretion, but cracks appear when patterns repeat. Meghan's transition from suit star to global figure involved networking that some described as aggressive. Accounts from industry events spoke of introductions that veered into personal territory, leaving recipients wary. Costner, with his decades in the business, represented a pinnacle of that world. His rejection wasn't just personal. It symbolized a broader Hollywood sentiment. As the story spread, it intersected with transatlantic ties. Prince Andrew's name, long shadowed by associations with Jeffrey Epstein's network, resurfaced in the discourse. Costner's allusion to involvement there sent shock waves. While details remained veiled, the implication was clear. Certain connections lingered unrest. For the royal family, already navigating its own challenges, this was an unwelcome spotlight. The interview meant to promote charity had instead ignited a narrative that refused to dim. Rumors have a way of lingering in Hollywood, like echoes in an empty theater. For Meghan, they began long before her royal ascent, rooted in her days navigating the competitive landscape of Los Angeles. Sources from that era recall a determined actress skilled at forging connections with influential figures. But as her profile rose, so did tales of advances toward wealthy men in the industry. These weren't baseless. They stemmed from eyewitness accounts at galas, premieres, and private gatherings where ambition met opportunity. One such story traces back to the early 2010s when Meghan was building her resume beyond suits. Industry insiders describe encounters at events hosted by production mogul where she approached high-profile actors and executives with charm that sometimes crossed into flirtation. According to a former studio executive who attended multiple functions, these interactions were strategic, aimed at opening doors. Yet, not all recipients responded in kind. Rejections were polite but firm, leaving impressions that circulated quietly among peers. Kevin Costner's name entered this narrative more recently, tied to the Santa Barbara charity circuit. The 2023 event at his estate marked a pivotal moment. Photos showed Harry and Meghan mingling with stars like Oprah Winfrey and Ellen DeGeneres. But behind the lens, tension simmered. Reddit forums and exposts from attendees hinted at Meghan's efforts to engage Costner personally, perhaps seeking collaboration on projects. Sources claim she suggested joint ventures blending philanthropy with professional overtures. Costner, known for his focus on work over socializing, reportedly kept interactions brief. By 2024, the dynamic had shifted. Meghan's absence from the event, attributed to illness, fueled speculation. Reports from outlets like the Daily Mail suggested it was more about denial of a co-presenting role. Insiders alleged she pushed for a prominent spot on stage, only to be rebuffed. This pattern aligned with broader rumors of her peering alliances with Hollywood heavyweights. Names like George Clooney and other A-listers surfaced in similar contexts, though without confirmation. What lent credibility to these whispers was the agency overlap. WME, a powerhouse in talent management, represents both Costner and Meghan. Accounts from within the firm suggest pressure to facilitate appearances, aiming to bolster her post-royal image. Yet, Costner's independence shone through. In a YouTube analysis from 2024, commentators noted his visible discomfort at past events, describing body language that screamed reluctance. One clip showed him acknowledging Harry warmly, but offering Meghan only a cursory nod. These rumors didn't exist in isolation. They intertwined with Meghan's public persona, one that emphasized empowerment and independence. Critics argued her approaches were networking norms in a cutthroat industry. Supporters pointed to gender biases in how such stories were framed, but the accumulation painted a picture of persistence that sometimes backfired. A Quora thread from 2025 questioned the charity event dynamics, with users claiming Costner felt cornered by the couple's presence. As the 2025 Leicester event approached, these tales resurfaced. Costner's interview served as a capstone, confirming what many suspected. His rejection wasn't isolated. It echoed sentiments from other men in the circle. Sources from Santa Barbara's elite gatherings described similar experiences where advances were met with distance. This wasn't about romance alone. It was about power dynamics, where flirtation served as a tool in a larger game. The broader context added intrigue. Hollywood's #MeToo era had heightened sensitivity to such interactions. While no accusations of impropriety surfaced, the rumors highlighted imbalances. For Meghan, Navigating this as a former royal amplified the scrutiny. Her marriage to Harry brought global eyes, turning personal moves into public fodder. Yet, in Costner's words, there was a quiet assertion of boundaries, one that resonated beyond the event. Santa Barbara has long been a haven for the famous, its beaches and estates offering respite from Los Angeles' frenzy. Kevin Costner's property, a sprawling oceanside retreat, became the stage for his charity events, drawing crowds for noble causes. The 1805 Live series, supporting first responders' mental health, evolved into a must-attend affair. It was here that the paths of Costner and the Sussexes first crossed publicly, setting the scene for later revelations. The 2023 iteration marked the debut. Harry and Meghan arrived unannounced, surprising guests. Media coverage focused on their loved-up display with Meghan in a chic poncho, but underlying accounts revealed friction. Exposts from the time claimed WME orchestrated the appearance, leveraging Costner's representation to include the couple. A Reddit thread titled, "Surprise. Kevin Costner didn't like being murlied," quoted sources saying he was leaned on pretty hard to host them. Costner's demeanor that night spoke volumes. Videos showed him presenting awards with Harry, but interactions with Meghan appeared minimal. Insiders later shared that he viewed her as overly eager, her advances subtle yet noticeable. One account described a conversation where she floated ideas for collaborations, perhaps on environmental or charitable fronts. Costner focused on the events' purpose, reportedly steered clear. Fast forward to 2024. Harry attended solo, Meghan absent due to reported sickness. Tabloids like The Sun speculated otherwise. Neil Shaw's YouTube report alleged she demanded to co-present an award and refused when denied. This fit a pattern of seeking spotlight roles. Sources from the event confirmed organizers' reluctance, citing past experiences where her presence shifted focus from the cause. By 2025, the Leicester event loomed with added anticipation. Renamed to honor a key donor, it promised the same star power. Costner's pre-event interview changed everything. His statement about invitations and associations was a random. It stemmed from accumulated discomfort. According to a Vocal Media piece, the 2023 appearance turned into awkward encounters and fading star power for the couple. The Santa Barbara link extended beyond events. Montito, home to Harry and Meghan, neighbors Costner's world. Shared social circles amplified interactions. Oprah's presence at multiple gatherings added layers. Her friendship with the Sussexes contrasting Costner's distance. Yet, even she reportedly noted the tensions. These events weren't isolated. They reflected Hollywood's intricate web where charity masks rivalries. Costner's charity work, genuine and long-standing, clashed with what some saw as opportunistic appearances. His rejection in the interview thus carried weight backed by years of observed dynamics. In the interview, Costner's words cut through the noise. "She made an advance toward me. I did not respond." Simple yet loaded. This was an accusation. It was fact-stating. Sources close to him described the moment as cathartic, a release of pent-up frustration from repeated encounters. The advance, they claimed, occurred during a prior charity function where casual talk veered into personal territory. Details emerged gradually. At the 2023 event, amid mingling, Meghan reportedly sought private conversation with Costner. Topics ranged from film projects to philanthropy, but undertones suggested more. Insiders alleged compliments that felt flirtatious, offers to connect on future endeavors. Costner, married and focused, politely declined. His response was firm, avoiding escalation but setting a clear line. This pattern repeated in whispers from other Hollywood figures. Rumors of similar advances toward wealthy men persisted from producers to actors. A MSN article branded her needy and clingy at events, citing body language experts. While supporters dismissed it as misogyny, the accumulation suggested a strategy for alliance building. Costner's rejection stood out for its public airing. In a YouTube video titled "Meghan Markle Gets Rejected Again" by Kevin Costner, analysts dissected his interview. They noted his tone, calm, unemotional, factual. This wasn't vengeance. It was boundary enforcement. Sources from his camp emphasized his dislike for gold diggers, a sentiment echoed in X posts. The charity context amplified the impact. Events like 1805 Live prioritize cause over celebrity. Meghan's alleged push for prominence clashed with this. By 2024, her absence signaled a turning point. Costner's 2025 statement confirmed it, tying rejection to broader discomfort. Costner's mention of Epstein sent ripples. "I have no involvement with the Epstein matter. Prince Andrew and Meghan do." This linked desperate worlds, Hollywood, royalty, and scandal. While avoiding specifics, it alluded to rumored connections. Prince Andrew's Epstein ties are well documented, from friendships to legal battles. Meghan's name surfaced in peripheral rumors, often as distraction tactics. Searches reveal palace strategies, using Meghan's stories to overshadow Andrew's issues. A Guardian piece from 2021 accused royals of diverting focus. Recent exposts claimed Meghan in Epstein files as an escort, though unverified. A 2025 article alleged Ghislaine Maxwell's claims about Meghan's past, linking to elite networks. Costner's knowledge likely stemmed from industry gossip. Hollywood and Epstein circles overlapped, with names like Bill Clinton appearing. Meghan's pre-royal life in LA placed her near such orbits. Rumors of yachting or high-end introductions persisted, though denied. The statement shocked because it was public. Sources suggest Costner heard tales from mutual contacts, prompting his clarification. For Andrew, it reignited scrutiny. BBC articles questioned the king's options amid scandals. Meghan's tie, even rumored, complicated her image. The British royal family reacted with stunned silence to Kevin Costner's revelations, a response that masked deeper turmoil within palace walls. His words landed at a precarious time amid ongoing internal strains exacerbated by health concerns for King Charles and the lingering fallout from Prince Andrew's controversies. Insiders close to Buckingham Palace described the atmosphere as one of quiet alarm, with Charles's camp viewing the interview as irrefutable confirmation of long-held concerns about Meghan's associations and behavior. Reports from royal correspondents suggest that discussions about her titles have intensified dramatically, with legal experts being consulted on the feasibility of parliamentary action to strip them. Witnesses like Costner, whose credibility stems from his disinterested position in Hollywood, could provide the tipping point, offering testimony that elevates rumors to actionable evidence. Prince Harry's increasing solo appearances throughout 2025 have only fueled speculation of widening rifts. From his trips to Canada for Invictus Games promotions to engagements in Angola supporting landmine clearance, Harry's independent schedule contrasts sharply with the couple's earlier joint outings. Sources indicate these moves reflect not just professional commitments, but underlying tensions, with Harry navigating his role amid family estrangement. The royal family, ever protective of its lineage and public image, sees Meghan's rumored links to figures like Andrew as profound risks. Andrew's own scandals have already placed immense burden on the institution. From legal settlements to diminished roles, associating Meghan with similar shadows amplifies the potential damage, potentially eroding public trust in the monarchy's integrity. Palace insiders, speaking anonymously to outlets like Vanity Fair and the Daily Beast, have painted a picture of quiet contingency planning underway. This includes scenario mapping for title revocation, which would require not just royal decree but legislative approval, echoing past precedents like the Titles Deprivation Act of 1917. Experts note that while King Charles has shown restraint, his reported frustration with Meghan, evident in accounts of him berating Harry over her family estrangements, suggests patience is wearing thin. Recent comments during public engagements hint at his sadness over divided loyalties, with one source claiming he views her actions as a devastating blow to family unity. The shock from Costner's statement stems largely from its irrefutability. As a respected figure with no apparent agenda, his voice lends substantial weight to the narrative, transforming whispers into a credible threat. Royals are now bracing for broader fallout, including media scrutiny and public petitions calling for action. With rumors swirling of Meghan seeking her own legal advice to safeguard her title, the potential for stripping it remains firmly on the table. a move that could redefine the Sussexes' place in royal history and signal a firmer stance from the crown against perceived threats to its legacy. The process of stripping royal titles is far from a simple decree entangled in centuries of tradition and legal frameworks that demand careful navigation. It typically requires an act of parliament to fully revoke core honors like princely or ducal designations, though the monarch holds some sway through the royal prerogative for lesser styles via instruments such as letters, patent, or royal warrants. Precedents underscore this complexity. The Titles Deprivation Act of 1917 stripped titles from German relatives of the British royals during World War I, setting a benchmark for wartime disloyalty. More recently, in late 2025, King Charles initiated formal proceedings to remove Prince Andrew's styles and honors, signaling a modern application amid ongoing scandals. Sources close to palace deliberations allege a similar compilation of evidence is underway for Meghan, drawing from witness testimonies and documented associations that paint a picture of impropriety. Kevin Costner's candid interview emerges as a potential catalyst in this unfolding drama, with his account of her advances and pointed references to controversial ties providing tangible leverage for those advocating change. Insiders claim this public rejection, combined with resurfacing rumors of her interactions in elite circles, could tip the scales toward action. Legal experts emphasize that hard evidence like DNA or official documentation isn't always necessary. Public perception and sustained pressure often drive the momentum. If these whispers solidify into substantiated claims bolstered by testimonies from Hollywood figures or parliamentary inquiries, the path to consequences becomes inevitable. Meghan's potential denials would face rigorous testing, not just in the court of public opinion, where media scrutiny amplifies every detail, but possibly in formal legal channels if petitions reach the House of Lords or Commons. Recent calls in 2025, including discussions in royal circles and expert analyses, highlight growing sentiment for such measures, especially as her title's legitimacy ties into broader institutional integrity. For the Duchess, this could mean a profound shift, unraveling the remnants of her royal identity and forcing a re-evaluation of her California-based endeavors amid heightened transatlantic tensions. This exposure marks a turning point. What began as charity chatter evolved into a reckoning. Costner's words fractured a carefully curated image, revealing cracks beneath. The future holds uncertainty, but one thing is clear. Silence no longer suffices. Truth once whispered now demands acknowledgement.